Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. It is Friday, October 21st. Hope everybody is doing well out there in the world. If you're new to the group, what took you so long? We are the first, the oldest, the largest, and the only true grassroots group actually fighting only and absolutely for student loan borrowers. We are of the borrowers. We are by the borrowers. We are for the bar. We are borrowers. I'm a borrower. I'm a defaulted borrower. So welcome. So much is going on, folks. This is truly the most critical time in the 17 and a half year history of our group. We've done a lot over the years. The reason that Joe Biden did a albeit lame student loan cancellation a couple of months ago was because of the people on this group. We started that whole entire public conversation. Nowhere in the media was there even one press report about the question of whether the president can cancel loans by executive order or not, until we did a seminal interview with Vice News asking the question, can the president cancel student loans by executive order? In other words, without Congress, without needing appropriation from Congress, without adding to the national debt. And the answer now clearly is yes. So we're thrilled that people like Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer embraced our call on then President Trump to do this. We're, I guess, thrilled that we actually have a student loan cancellation to point to now, but it's very lame. It's so lame. And quite frankly, even Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer dumbed the concept down when they brought it into the public sphere big time, right around the time when our petition was absolutely blowing up in the media. So this group's far more important than we appear. But ladies and gentlemen, the most important policy thing I will tell you tonight, we're not going to see any kind of meaningful loan cancellation from President Biden or probably even the next president. We're not going to see anything good or meaningful from the Department of Education and the President and the Secretary of Education unless and until we get the threat, the leverage of bankruptcy rights returned to us. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. I know it's a dirty word. There's a stigma associated with it. And maybe there should be. I don't know. What I do know is that we are not going to see jack squat until we get this constitutionally enshrined right of bankruptcy returned. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have two bills right now in the Senate, S-2598, in the House, H.R. 9110. Both of these bills could be passed tomorrow. The Senate bill is bipartisan. And so you know, we're a fiercely nonpartisan group. We pretty much hate both parties at this point. They have combined to shove us down into the partisan cracks for decades. We've been around for nearly 2 decades now, which is sad. We will not see anything meaningful until bankruptcy is returned. We will see many things that are very meaningful when bankruptcy is returned. And few people, maybe even no one, should even have to file. It's just having the threat of bankruptcy that's so important. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got these bills. They could be passed by the end of the year. If they don't pass by the end of the year, we are screwed. All of us, everyone here and everybody, all 43.12 million people with federal student loans are screwed because the loans are going to resume on January 1st. And the number one goal of the student loan collection industry, in other words, our opponents, their number one goal, their golden unicorn, is to see these loans turned back on and bankruptcy remain gone from the loans. This is a trick that's been played on us before in years and even decades past. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am not exaggerating at all when I tell you that your student loans your livelihood hangs in the balance of what happens with these two bills. Now, if you forget everything I said tonight, I hope you will at least remember this. We've got a huge muscle to flex. We've got over 1 million people in our group between our petition and all of our other platforms, millions of people. And if everyone in our group did our daily actions right there, daily actions. And I think you can see it scrolling below. If all 1.2 or 3 million people on our group did these daily actions, this problem would be solved in a fortnight, like a couple weeks, like less, maybe even. Can you imagine if 1 million people retweeted all the tweets that we do in our daily actions? Our daily actions are very well targeted, very strategic, and hopefully pretty creative. I try to put some thought into them every single day. You need to do those daily actions. If all of our members did that, this problem would be solved like that. If even 10% of our members did that, that would be 100,000 retweets a day to everybody we target. It would be overwhelming the phone lines of the congressmen and the senators that we target every single day. It would probably make national news. Like, that's even 10% of our members were doing this. So do our daily actions. Would you please, if you care at all about this problem, do our daily actions. So the song I tried to play, and forgive me, guys, I don't do that piano thing for your entertainment. I do it more to clear my head and just to bring something other than student loan crap into the broadcast, because I get so tired talking about student loans all the time. Can you imagine my life? Anyways, and also I'm not a great piano player, but I should say that when I decide on a song, it's usually about 1 minute before I do the live stream, and often I have to figure that song out. So anyways, the song I just tried to play was Pink Floyd, Us and Them. And it's very important for you to know. So many people out there suffer in silence. They think, oh, I'm the only one. A lot of people don't tell their wives and husbands and significant others and girlfriends, boyfriends, their kids, their parents, their family. They don't even tell their immediate companions about their student loan problems. They suffer in silence. They think it's their fault. They walk around with their tail in between their legs. They're ashamed. They're tiptoeing around on eggshells. They're living this sort of just terrible, disgusting, quiet desperation. And it shouldn't be that way, because most student loan borrowers were screwed on their student loans even before the pandemic. And when I say most, I probably should have said the overwhelming majority of student loan borrowers were screwed on their student loans even before the pandemic. 85% of all student loan borrowers were never going to be able to repay their loans, even before the pandemic. That's certainly only gone up since then. So you don't have to suffer in silence. We've got something to fight for, something where you can direct all that quiet desperation or whatever you got going on, your angst. You can channel that angst into very extraordinarily helpful, useful, needed channels. And that starts with the daily actions. It doesn't end there. That's really the minimum that you should be doing. But you should be proud to be fighting this fight, truly. We were a voice in the wilderness for years and decades. We started student loan justice in 2005. And if you thought it was bad and shameful now, you should have seen it then. Like, I'd go on NPR, and 9 out of 10 phone calls to an NPR show, which, we're a nonpartisan group, clearly, but historically, the Democrats have been sort of on our side, and the Republicans have been opposing us, and that's changing, by the way. In the past couple months, we've seen Republicans, or I should say conservatives, write papers at places like the Federalist and other places. We've seen a bunch of conservatives come around and call for the return of bankruptcy to student loans. So that's changing. But in 2005, even most of the sort of left-leaning audience was like, if you take out a loan, you really need to pay that loan back. People had no clue at how vicious and unconstitutional and predatory and weaponized these student loans had become. Well, that's changed a lot, guys. We have come a long ways, thanks to, by and large, honestly, the people on this group, people willing to stand up, speak out, fight for themselves, damn the torpedoes, Forget about all the haters and all that nonsense. We are right, and right makes might. And we are potentially nuclearly strong. Our argument is absolutely nuclearly strong, if that's even a word, nuclearly. Everywhere we go, guys, I'm not kidding you. Everywhere we go to make our argument, the bad guys, they scurry like cockroaches when the lights are turned on. I kid you not. And every actual engagement that we have with the haters always ends with them either running away or agreeing with us. And honestly, if it's an honest debate, the haters become likers. I've had people say at the end of a long engagement, I've had them say, I'm sorry, I had no idea. I'm on your side. That happens more than the haters simply going away. If they have a paid vested interest and it's, there's more behind it than just an honest debate, then yeah, usually they'll just run away and we'll never hear from them again. But guys, I'm telling you, our argument is strong. The founding fathers are on our side. 43.2 or something million federal student loan borrowers, another 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 million private student loan borrowers and cosigners are on our side. Tell them about us. Spread the word about this group, guys. I kid you not. Now, the other student loan advocacy groups, they're jokes. I'm sorry, but they are. They're not fighting for bankruptcy. They're all of a sudden there's crickets when the topic of bankruptcy comes up, or they're even behind the scenes opposed to bankruptcy. And quite frankly, that is very suspicious. One of the groups, we found very close ties with something called the DCI group, which is a shameless PR, it's conservative, but I don't care. It's a PR firm in Washington, D.C. that takes money from banks and insurance companies and tobacco and oil companies and corporations, and they are paid to start fake grassroots groups. So I'm not going to tell you what group that is, but their initials are SDC. So you can figure it out. But yeah, guys, the other groups are full of shit. I'd let them defend themselves. They have not a leg to stand on if they are quiet on the bankruptcy issue. And quite frankly, if they are against bankruptcy, that is beyond bad. That's straight up evil. So whatever, guys, I don't care about those other groups. I care about our group. We've been doing this longer than anybody else. We've learned all the tricks and the traps that our opposition has launched against us. And lo and behold, we are now right on the verge of victory with our two bills. We are also on the verge of defeat. So that works both ways, guys. That's a revolver. That's a very razor edge there. We are either going to succeed wildly and win this year, hopefully by November 8th, although that date is so close, it's getting hard to see that. If everybody in our group was doing our daily actions, we would indeed probably have our bill passed by November 8th. We would have something signed by the president by November 8th. That's 2 weeks away now, a little bit more. A lot of people ask me, they go, Alan, what do you think the chances are that our bills are going to pass? I'm sorry, but that's a ridiculous question because this stuff does not happen in a vacuum, guys. What we do means everything. If I quit doing live streams right now and quit doing the work that I do, and everybody in our group quit doing the work that they do, I would say there's a very poor chance that our bills are going to pass by November 8th, or the end of the year. So it depends on us is the answer. The answer is it completely depends on us. And that means you. To everybody. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments, and I can see you on Facebook or Twitter, throw out your comments now, and I'm very happy to read them on air. I've got a couple of announcements. It all depends on you. Number one, let me just finish that thought. You can't sit here. We're a working, fighting group. We're not here for your entertainment. You've got to pull your weight. Nobody on this group can pull your weight for you. That can't happen. They're too busy fighting their own battle, which is our battle. And if you're not fighting it, then we're losing it because of you. So having said that, I've got a couple of announcements. First announcement, and let me just see if I can dial in the live stream here for a minute. First announcement, all those, remember, this is kind of a distraction. I apologize in advance. All those lawsuits that are getting launched trying to stop the Biden loan cancellation, those are all being thrown out in like 2 seconds out of court. They're frivolous lawsuits. They're nonsense. We said the day that the very first lawsuit was filed, these lawsuits are frivolous. They have not a leg to stand on. They will be thrown out of court. And lo and behold, did we not tell you so? All of these lawsuits, including another one today, was thrown out by a conservative member of the Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, whatever her name is, Coney Barrett. So that's good. Now put that out of your mind. Don't worry about the lawsuits. Those things are meaningless. It's just noise. It's just more noise in the machines. Our opposition wants you distracted. And our opposition is not just the conservatives, guys. It's a deep, dark, administrative, state-fueled thing. It spans both sides of the aisle. Our opposition wants you distracted. They want you doing nothing. They want you sitting around reading Forbes magazine and other swamp media, and that's like 90, if not 95% of all the media coming out about student loans right now. They want you waiting, watching, worrying, wringing your hands, walking around on eggshells and wondering what's going to happen and doing nothing. That's what they want. Don't give them the pleasure. So I'm just dialing in your comments now. But here's the announcements. Lawsuit dismissed. Forget about it. Biden said some nonsense about student loans today. Forget about it. It's all politics. Stupid. This is kind of interesting. A couple of our members, Christina and Lisa Ansel in Los Angeles, Christina's in Arizona, they have entered a contest, a glamour contest. And I know this sounds small, but it's actually kind of a really cool thing. It's a nationally publicized thing where the winner gets a ton of national recognition, like a 2-page spread in a national glamour magazine, and they get to talk about their thing. And both Lisa and Christina are fighting for student loan justice as a part of their whole profile. So this is a great marriage that we've never seen before, a fusion of the world of glamour and the Kardashians and Paris Hilton and all that stuff. Fashion, style, glamour, and student loans. Like, who would have thought? So please vote for these women. Would you please? I think it takes tremendous courage for them to do what they're doing. And you can vote for free. You need Facebook, but let me just dial in the link for you to do that. There's vote for Lisa right there. And I don't have a link for Christina again. I so apologize. Go to that link and vote for Lisa. You can go to that very same link, but instead of Lisa-Ansel, you type in Christina, Christina Belfiore. That's Belfiore. You can vote for both of them for free on Facebook. So do that, please. I would love to have them finish 1, 2 in any order. And you don't have to pick and choose, by the way. You can vote for them both. So please do that. I would love that. It would be such great exposure for us. And I believe the contest ends like early December. So the timing on that is perfect for getting our bill passed by the end of the year. So that everything helps, guys. I know it sounds it sounds weird, but please do it. Also, I think I mentioned our if you look up and down on our group, you will see a couple of interview requests that we have. We're looking for somebody from Arizona with the older style FFELP loans. We're looking for someone, I think they already filled this request, but also looking for somebody whose loans will be extinguished by this Biden cancellation. We had to look quite hard to find somebody who fits that bill on our group, by the way. And I know there's a lot of people, and this is a very important point. There are indeed a lot of people out there with $10,000 or $20,000 in loans whose entire debt would be extinguished by the Biden cancellation. But here's the fact of the matter, guys. The people who are actually needing student loan cancellation, they aren't those people. people who have $10,000 or $20,000 in student loan debt, frankly, I envy them. They're in pretty good shape, and they need student loan cancellation least of all. And so that leaves us, everybody else. We have some people in our group whose loan balances have exploded to such exorbitant levels. And I think I'm actually probably one of them. I have no idea what my loan balance is. I haven't even checked in over like 8 years because I don't care. It's all monopoly money to me. It's just nonsense. It's fantasy. And so I guess I would say, and I think Ed, our fearless co-leader, might, well, I'll let him speak for himself, but they may as well add $10,000 onto my balance because it's cartoon land anyways. And I think there's far, far, far more people in the country who are in that state of affairs than are represented in the federal data. I think there's a lot of loan balances. I think they are under-reporting student loan balances. I think the Department of Education is under-reporting student loan balances. But here's an interesting political thing. Getting back to the point I just made. Biden announced his loan cancellation and the generic polling for Democrats versus Republicans. On the day that he did that, it was basically dead even. It was a wash. It was dead even. Within 10 days, within 10 days of Biden's announcement, the Democrats pulled up by 2 full percentage points in popular opinion on D's versus R's. 2 points. That's huge. That happened in the 10 days following Biden's announcement. Well, and as most of you, certainly most people on this group, are now coming to understand, it's a lame, feckless cancellation. And every week, another shoe drops saying, oh, FFELP borrowers don't qualify. Oh, that's our other interview request. FFELP borrowers in Arizona who will not qualify for the Biden cancellation. If that's you, if you live in Arizona, if you're older, if you got your loans prior to 2010, you never consolidated in the direct loan program, you're not going to get the Biden cancellation. No FFELP borrowers are going to get the Biden cancellation, by the way. But if you live in Arizona, there's somebody who wants to interview you. So we're seeing Biden's student loan cancellation get weaker and weaker by the week. And I think by a few months after the election, people are going to, like, probably 60 or 70 or 80% of the people out there are going to be like, this thing is dog shit. Pardon my French. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes with every loan cancellation gimmick we've ever seen come from the Department of Education. And that is how it will go as long as the threat of bankruptcy remains gone from the loans. I'm telling you guys, you have no idea how important bankruptcy is. Or maybe you do, and you're on this group. And to everybody who understands that, and everybody on our group who's doing the daily actions, who's doing the hard work, I'm talking about people like, Christina, Lisa, Joanna, Martha, who is confined to a wheelchair and can't speak and can't even digest her own food, suffering with a very challenging condition called ALS. I'm talking about Rob Mueller, who did our daily actions the day that on his anniversary. Is that right? I may be getting the name wrong. So many people, I can't name them all. So many people, Gordon, obviously our fearless co-leader, and so many people out there are doing the daily actions. Vanjie, I salute you, and you know that we are the pioneers on this, and we have a lot to be proud of. Look how far we've come in the past even 2 years. It's amazing. But folks, we've got to get bankruptcy back. We've just got to. The loan cancellation gimmicks that we're going to see are going to be nonsense. And so to finish the point, the Democrats' lead of 2 points over the Republicans has now been eaten away as people have realized, oh, this thing actually sucks. And other things obviously happen in the country. Student loans aren't everything. The Democrats' lead has been niggled away. It has evaporated. And right now, it's essentially dead even right now. Democrats are ahead by a couple of points, a couple of tenths of a point. So it's dead even again. The Democrats, if they want to have any chance of making it through these midterms and maintaining control of both House and Senate, a very historically rare thing and a very tough thing to do in a midterm election when your candidate won the presidency. If the Democrats want to keep this majority, they've got to do way more on student loans. And bogus loan cancellations clearly aren't it. They've got to return the floor of fairness to this unfair, weaponized, catastrophically failed, I should add, loan monstrosity. They've got to return bankruptcy rates. It is in the DNC platform going back to 2016. So that's 6+ years now. The Democrats have voted into their platform the agenda item of returning bankruptcy protections to student loans. They can now do that even without the other party. But, you know, our bills, which do that, are bipartisan. We fully expect to see some Republicans come on these bills, certainly voice support for these bills. People like Matt Gaetz and John Katko in the House. We already have 2 co-sponsors that are Republicans in the Senate, Josh Hawley, MAGA guy, and John Cornyn out of Texas, sort of an old establishment, good old boy Republican. The Democrats have no excuse. The Democrats, it is now time right now for the Democrats to either do what they said they were going to do and what they now can do, or betray us. It's that stark. It's going to be one or the other. I want it to be that first thing. I don't want it to be that second thing. So send this live stream to a Democrat you know, if you would please. Their whole party, quite frankly, I think depends on this. We are, and I know that it sounds dramatic. It's not. It's not. There are, as I said, 56 million borrowers and cosigners in the country. In just federal loan borrowers alone, 38 million people with federal student loans were never going to be able to repay their loans even before the pandemic. These people are losing sleep at night over their student loans. Why they aren't in this group, I don't know. They'll never know about us until you tell them. Spread the word, by the way. 38 million people is a ton of people. You know, you can, in a typical presidential year, like around 60 million or 63, 4, 5 million people votes wins that election. So 38 million people is by far and away the largest politically untethered voting bloc in U.S. history. And by the way, over half of those people are either Republican or independent. So, you know, when I warn the Democrats, I could just as easily warn the Republicans. There's a lot riding on the student loan issue. And I think the people in Washington, D.C. are loath to acknowledge it because, quite frankly, neither party has managed to get their arms around this issue. The Democrats made a good show of it, but the Democrats, quite frankly, are all show and no go. It's kind of a good cop, bad cop thing. It's like the Democrats are the good cop, Republicans are the bad cop. Okay, hey, I'm looking for your comments right now, guys. I should be looking at the live stream right now, but let me just redial in the live stream. Oh, that's the wrong live stream. That's why. So I hope you guys are stoked. More than anything, I hope that you are all thrilled and impressed that we, as a almost not even funded group, like we're a complete grassroots group, guys. We don't have a staff. We don't have a budget. We don't have even, our office is right where I'm sitting right now. Our monthly expenses are in the low single digit thousands of dollars. Our monthly expenses have gone up significantly in recent months because of our stupid fucking email expense. But yeah, we can do what we do on almost nothing. And even despite all of that, we've managed to get from nowhere to actually getting a presidential loan cancellation and also actually getting and being on the cusp of having bankruptcy finally returned. The most important thing, bankruptcy finally getting, oh, kitty, what is that? What are you doing? Look at the kitty. Sorry. Little kitty value there. Little production value for the video. We've come a long ways in 2 years, guys, and you guys all have a lot to be proud of. There's only a little bit further to go now. A little bit further. We've got to get there. We've got to get there. Both Republicans and Democrats have a lot riding on this. But guys, I'm going to just say it depends on the Democrats. The Democrats hold power. They hold all the committee chairs. They are the party that can promote or not legislation. Jerry Nadler is the guy in the House. He's chairman of the Judiciary Committee. He's also a sponsor of HR 9110. So there's no good reason for Jerry Nadler not to be pushing this bill through post haste, I should say. I was going to say ex post facto. That's not right. No good reason for No good reason for Jerry to be sitting on this bill. Same thing in the Senate. Chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, very good guy. He's been on our side since before anybody was on our side. But nonetheless, Dick Durbin cannot sit on this bill. They can't let this bill expire. They cannot. We've got to push them, guys. We've got to. I see the Democrats, when push comes to shove and it all actually gets real, I see the Democrats wanting this whole thing to go away. They don't want to pass bankruptcy. I get the strong feeling. It's like, the college behind the scenes, the colleges are freaked out about returning bankruptcy to student loans. Behind the scenes, the student loan swamp their fucking hair is on fire. Now, publicly, all the opposition has gone away. That's true. But behind the scenes, there are still a lot of people who absolutely do not want bankruptcy returned to student loans. The Democrats are on the fence. We've got to push them. We've got to push, guys. If we don't, we'll get fucked. We will get fucked by the swamp. Pardon my French. Okay. I continue to look for your comments. Where are the... Okay, there they are. I'm so sorry to be lagging on your comments. Oh, by the way, guys, I should have said this the very first thing in the broadcast. We have very generously a donor in California willing to match donations up to $1,000 through the end of the day tomorrow. So far, we've raised around $370. So we can still we need to raise $630 or something. And all those donations will be matched dollar for dollar. As I said, we've got an extremely low budget, guys, but it's not no budget. We can't do it on nothing. We will vanish and disappear if we can't raise just a tiny bit of money every month to keep our lights on and our internet going, our emails. So please donate so I can shut up about it. Please do that. Okay. I suck at fundraising. Would you please make it a little bit easier on me? I would just greatly appreciate that. Okay. I'm loading your comments right now. And I hope you guys are stoked. Hey, Vanjie's with us. I mentioned you earlier, Vanjie. I don't know if your ears are burning or not. Vanjie says, I'm literally sitting on my ballot. That is a very wise strategy, Vanjie. Early voting is going on right now, and the Democrats have not done enough to merit any sort of an endorsement from us. I did break that rule, I have to say. I put Marco Rubio on the spot, Senator Rubio, his staff. I put them on the spot directly. And I said, listen, folks, we've been asking Senator Rubio, and Florida is being just devastated by student loan debt, worse than most other states. I said, if Marco Rubio does not co-sponsor or at least publicly support our Senate Bill S-2598, we are going to endorse his opponent. And I gave them a deadline of last Monday, close of business, this most recent Monday. So 4 days ago. They ignored us. Well, they didn't ignore us. They said, give us a chance to review the legislation. Give us a chance. They've been saying that for years. And so I finally had to throw down the gauntlet. And I said, look, guys, no more pussyfooting around. Either you do this or you don't do it by Monday. If you don't do it by Monday, we're going to endorse your opposition. Val Demings. And we don't even really like Val Demings, by the way. There's nothing in particular about Val Demings that really screams out for us to endorse her. But, the Rubio people they've ignored us and brushed us off just one too many times. So I snapped and I gave them that deadline. And I'm glad I did. I would do exactly the same thing over again. And so, yeah, we endorse Val Demings, a Democrat. but I think we're going to withhold any further endorsements until and unless we see this bill pass. And we will endorse Republicans and Democrats. We can endorse Dick Durbin right now. But again, guys, a bill is just a bill. We need this bill to pass. And so, yeah, we're withholding any endorsements until the bill passes or the bill doesn't pass. You, as a voter, I would urge you to not vote for, I would say don't vote for anybody if they are not on our side. So look at the endorsers, the co-sponsors of S2598, of HR 9110, and vote accordingly. But yeah, certainly we're not going to vote for a party that's only going to betray us. That would be the Democrats. We're certainly not going to vote for a party who's actively fighting against us, at least on the cancellation front. Like, nobody's going to do that. So the Rubio thing, and by the way, we're going to do the same thing with Ron Johnson. He's a Republican senator we gave till the end of this week, which is Sunday. So more than likely, we're going to wind up again endorsing a opponent that we don't really care for, particularly Mandela Barnes. But these are two very important seats, and maximum pressure had to be brought to bear on these guys. They're up for re-election in battleground states. Rubio looks pretty safe, but I'm telling you, there's enough student loan borrowers in Florida to give that race to Val Demings. So if you live in Florida, unless Marco Rubio has a literally 1 second to midnight turn of bouts, or whatever you want to call that, absolutely do not even consider voting for Marco Rubio. Do not. No student loan borrower in his right mind should be voting for Marco Rubio. And remember, in the state of Florida, that's like 4.5 million people, and over half of them are either Republican or independent. So that is easily enough people to swing that election. If you live in Florida, spread the word. Absolutely do not vote for Marco Rubio. And if you have to vote for Val Demings. That's the strength of our endorsement for Val Demings. Okay, more comments. I say we've got a ton of comments. Let me apologize in advance if I can't get to all of them tonight. Good evening. Joanna Kearns did everything also. Thank you, Joanna. Joanna in Florida, by the way, is one of our most stalwart student loan justice warriors out there. Hey, Rob Mueller, I was just talking about you as well, Rob. I don't know. Was it you that did our daily actions on your anniversary? I think it was. Everyone, Rob says, everyone who knows me in my everyday life agrees that it's unconstitutional. It's as if a face/life has to be attached to it, and then they see the truth. You're so right, Rob. You know, it's one thing to be looking on the internet and seeing memes that say student loans are unfair. But if you have a living, breathing person who hopefully you know in your face telling you their story, then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, ooh, I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when I was wagging my finger saying, pay your loans, you deadbeat, liberal, entitled, snowflake, blue-haired, Democrat, Antifa, whatever. This is not a partisan issue, guys, and Rob is absolutely correct. When you're looking somebody eyeball to eyeball, telling them the truth, they will listen. So remember that. You've got to be ambassadors for, call it what you want. I call it student loan justice, but whatever. I call it the American people, because remember, guys, if they can do to other loans what they did to student loans, they will. They will. And in a matter of years, or maybe even a decade, or maybe less, you never know. Hitler turned Germany from a democratic republic, I believe, into a tyrannical one man controls everything country in what, from 1933, roughly 5 years, I think, when from the date that he became chancellor, and what was that, 1932, until he controlled absolutely every aspect of German public life. I think that was like 6 years, like 1938. So you never know, guys. This battle is fucking important. And This student loan injustice is the camel's nose under the tent. So listen to Rob and take this seriously and be our ambassador. Fight for yourself. Feel good about it. I think most people on this group will tell you that it's cathartic. I sleep like a baby at night. There's nothing I'd rather be doing than fighting for this very worthwhile. I feel like a true patriot fighting this battle. And we've come so far too, and we're getting very close, guys, but we're fighting the good fight. Hey, Lisa Ansel says, everyone, Michael Franken is within striking distance of unseating longtime swamp creature Chuck Grassley. Oh, Chuck Grassley of Iowa. Yeah, he is a very important guy, Chuck Grassley. He's a Republican head of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. If the Republicans had control of the Senate right now, Chuck Grassley would be where Dick Durbin is. He'd be the chairman. So apparently, Lisa tells us he's got some very stiff competition. Call him out on Twitter and make sure he knows how important S2598 is for the people of Iowa and that we vote accordingly. Absolutely, Lisa. Do that, guys. Hit Chuck Grassley on Twitter hard. If you're on Twitter, if you don't know, if you just type at Grassley, Grassley, both of his things, they'll have a blue check next to him, more than likely, will pop up. It'll be Senator Grassley, and it'll be another one that's like Grassley for Senate or vote for Chuck. It'll be his campaign Twitter. Hit both of those Twitter addresses hard right now. In fact, you can do that as you're watching this live. In fact, before the end of this live stream, in like 3 minutes, you will be able to hit up Chuck Grassley and do that as we're speaking. Hey, Doug Grossman is with us from Indiana tonight. Hey, Doug, how are you? I want to know where the other 80% of our members who signed the petition are not on the live streams at least once a week and are doing the daily actions every day. Where are you? This will not happen without all of us. Thank you, Doug. Listen to Doug. From Doug's lips to your ears. If you're sitting on the sidelines thinking that we're going to fight this and win this battle for you, you're fucking wrong. And shame on you for thinking that. You're not better than us. You need to be helping us. Me and Doug and Lisa and Rob and everybody else. Joanna. You need to be helping us. We're not going to solve your problem for you. These are your loans. Your livelihood hangs in the balance of what happens with S2598 and HR 9110 between now and the end of the year. What you do means everything. And the least you can be doing are our... Do I need to say it again? Our daily actions. Thank you, Doug. Where are we at? Hey, Rob says, what other lending entity can go as far as the student loan industry with unilaterally changing the terms of your loans, regardless of when you borrowed? ? Answer, none, Rob says. Rob, you're absolutely right. Bankruptcy was taken away midstream. Statutes of limitations were taken away from student loans in the middle of everything. I had statutes of limitations for my loans when I was in an undergraduate, for example. By the time I was in graduate school, that was gone. They changed the rules in the middle of the game. It's disgusting. Student loans, by the way, in my humble opinion, and my very well-studied opinion, they're unconstitutional. The founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy laws in the Constitution. No matter how you define the term uniform, student loans are not treated uniformly in bankruptcy. They're treated completely differently from all debt. And student loan borrowers are treated completely differently from all other people, all other borrowers in this country. You know, they also call for equal protection under the law. That's not in the body of the Constitution. That's in the Bill of Rights. But I think most people would say that's pretty damned important. Well, that is absolutely violated for us. So thank you, Rob. We don't have to put up with this shit, ladies and gentlemen. How many times, I've said it, I think I say almost every night. In my humble opinion, nobody should ever pay another dollar back into certainly their federal student loans. This is a big government Out of control beast. It's failed. Very few people, less than half of everybody was paying on their loans before the pandemic. I kid you not. Most people were not paying on their student loans before the pandemic. Almost nobody's paying now. Very few people will ever resume paying on their federal student loans. Nobody, in my opinion, should. In my opinion, if you ever pay another dollar back on your federal student loans, it's not only probably unwise, because the lending system is vanishing into a mist of illegitimacy as we speak. Student loans are essentially one big national joke at this point. Not only unwise, it's unpatriotic. It doesn't help you. All it does is feeds a beast that is threatening to devour. I mean, the amount of harm this lending scam has done to the country up to this point has been massive, just absolutely massive. And I could go on forever, or many moons talking about that. But the amount of damage that this lending scam is right now poised to inflict on the country. Remember, January 1st is coming. We are going to see a mass default. The amount of damage that is poised to be inflicted on this country is freaking calculable. Joanna, Matthew Kearns in Florida, who also is Joanna, says, it is beyond a damn shame, like we have to put up with this being abused in this country. It has and continues to get so old, like we have nothing else better to do. Right. As if life isn't hard enough without having to worry about a ridiculous fundraising. Would you please? A ridiculous, cheesy, unconstitutional lending scam. So, I'm running out of time here, Gordon. I'm sorry. Gordon has a few key points to make about Val Demings and Marco Rubio. So I'll leave that to our eager audience to read. Anne-Marie Barnett posts an article to the very first thing we said tonight about that lawsuit being thrown out of court, as every lawsuit will be thrown out of court because we told you so, or no, because the law is the law. And our opposition has nothing, dude. Our opposition just is stupid, and you heard that here first. But I'm not going to belabor the point because, as I said, it is a distraction. We need you not distracted. We need you right now through the end of the year, if that's what it takes, every single day, doing at a minimum our daily actions. That's what we got to have, guys. So we got to have. So let me just summarize before I sign off. Vote for Lisa. Vote for Christina. Rewind this thing back to the first 10 minutes if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I guess the last substantial thing that I will reiterate is please donate, guys. I hate to have to ask, but dudes, I absolutely have to ask. We've got a very generous donor willing to match donations up to $1,000 through tomorrow. So if you appreciate all that we've done, all that we're doing, and all that we are now poised to accomplish, please just do a donation so I can fucking shut up about it. All right, guys, I hope you're thrilled. I will be with you again on Sunday. We never rest here. We're 24/7 in the student loan battle, and I hope that you are too. We work weekends. I hope that you do too. This is a fun battle to fight. It's a noble battle to fight. We need you. We actually need you in it. The country actually needs you to fight it. And I am just awe-inspired and amazed when I look at some of the people on our group and the challenges that they face, but yet still they are fighting this fight. To all of you, I salute you. To everyone else, you know what to do. I'm not going to say it again. Good luck in your efforts. Keep us posted as to your accomplishments. I'll see you on Sunday. Godspeed. And God bless everyone.